Hey everybody, Model Man here with a look at AJA Models 2001 U.S. Air Force Weapons Satellite, an all-resin model kit. This is the fourth out of four of the satellites that we're seeing in the film that AJA Models has produced. The first one was the French, followed up by the Chinese, the German, and now finally, to round out the set of four, the U.S. satellite that opens up the movie, basically, with the technology side of it. There are four other satellites that were built, maybe six other satellites that were built for the film, but never used or shot. AJA Models may be doing a line of those eventually. Having gotten the other three models, I was kind of surprised to see the box at this one because it's so relatively small. And it says it builds up to almost 10 inches long, but I guess it's just the way that it was built. So we'll pull out the other four satellites, or the other three rather, when we do the tape up. Let me lay these parts out and we'll see what we got. So the decals are printed really nice and tight looking. In the case of these 8 over here, these actually replicate details that are not cast into the model itself. For example, these 4 up here, 2 of those go on each side of the nose there, such as is shown in the directions there, and this decal up above the S9 belonging in here is that one there. Overall, the detail is definitely crisp, very sharp all around. There's a bit of flash going on here and there along the seam lines, but it's nothing too bad at all. One part that is not so great is that mess right there. That's going to be difficult to clean off and still get a flat surface going on. What I may need to do is, if I cut into the surface too much, is get some styrene sheet and kind of hope I can replace that. That's the only really bad place on this particular piece. This bit on the front can be washed off or sanded down easy enough. One thing I noticed somewhere, yeah, this part has evidence of it, but all these pits here, that's air bubbles that were trying to escape but didn't quite. So the few down here in this corner, those will have to be patched over, and air bubbles can be really tough to fill. And a lot of these, especially on this upper surface, are underneath the skin. So these dark ones here are exposed, but everything else on the right of those is just under a thin layer of resin, much like all the ones down here on that side. And I thought that, yeah, so here's what can happen on this piece here when a void breaks through. So this can certainly be patched. Cutting it away would be a bad idea because chances are a lot of the other surface detail here would go away as well. You can actually kind of see through. That top layer of resin is so thin you can see through it, so that'll have to be filled and hopefully patched. If that's beyond your ability to repair, have no fear, because AJAM will replace parts. You send back the defective part, he'll send you a new one. One thing that really surprised me is the engines on this. That's pretty much it. They're cast into the body. You never really see them in the film at all. There's a lot of details you never really see in the film at all, because it goes by so quickly, and it's not the model you're seeing a photo of the model go by on screen. They needed to save some production time and some money. Like I said, these details are real nice and crisp. Generally speaking, there's a couple rough spots right in there, but again, that's nothing you can't fix too difficult without too much difficulty, just using an X-Acto blade. Now, one thing I want to do though, and this is why I was so surprised when I opened this model, was the size relative to the other satellites. So let me get those out, and I actually have an additional treat to show. This is a shot I've been looking forward to seeing for a really long time. Obviously there's still a lot of work to go on two of the satellites. That's the German at the top, followed by the Chinese, the French, and then the US at the bottom there. So, you know, comparably, it's definitely in scale. Germans certainly win out on biggest and baddest satellite. Now, a side note that I have here is that even though this is the last of the 4 satellites for AJAM to do, this was the first satellite that was done. I'm pretty sure it even beat the French one there, because that was pretty early on too. But the very first one done, as far as I know, was this version of the American satellite. And, as you can see, this definitely also fits in pretty well with those scale-wise. This one is from Mad Dog Resin. I don't know if it's still around at all. It was around for a little while. But it's fairly inaccurate by itself. Maybe I'll do a comparison video of the two of them at some point when the AJA models is built up. And I did go a long way to accuratizing it, though I did go overboard with adding a lot of styrene strip. But it turns out I did get the nose details pretty close. So seeing all 5 of these together is definitely, I've been really looking forward to it, actually. 3 of them still need a lot of work, and 2 of them definitely need a very severe dusting. Those have gotten very grimed up over the last few years that they've been sitting on the wall. I'm going to have to figure something out about that, because there's some really delicate stuff on there, and a simple can of air will not blow that stuff off. So I think that's pretty much it for a look at this satellite. You'll definitely see some more construction on all 5 of these from me over the coming year or so, because I do want to get them on display and finally up together. I don't know if Mad Dog here at the bottom will go with the other 4 or what I'll be doing, because all 4 of these are essentially AJA models. The French satellite here was originally done by Timeslip, and AJA bought that back, which makes all 4 his. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.